Today I will show you how to make your own homemade Russian whiskey. The grain mix ratio will be displayed on the screen, except for bourbon whiskey with a corn ratio of 51 or more. The rest can be mixed according to needs. When crushing materials in batches, corn can be ground slightly finer to facilitate the conversion of amylase into sugar. The material-water ratio requires a ratio of 1:3 or 1:4. If there is too little water, the starch conversion is incomplete, and if there is too much water, the sugar content is too low. We first boil the corn kernels thoroughly, and then add the crushed malt after cooling it down to about 40 to 50 degrees. This makes it easier for the amylase to work at a suitable temperature and fully convert the starch into sugar. Start adding malt powder and stirring constantly, and adopt a slow temperature raising and a segmented saccharification method. Raise the temperature of the material to about 50 degrees and hold it for half an hour. Then gradually raise the temperature to about 65 to 72 degrees and hold it for 1 hour. You can use iodine to test the degree of saccharification. When the starch content is almost gone, turn off the heat and put the saccharification liquid into a sterilized container for temporary storage and cooling. Then filter out the residue with a cotton mesh bag or other gauze, and squeeze out the remaining liquid in the residue to facilitate the subsequent sugar washing of the residue. The squeezed residue still contains some sugar. We can use hot water at about 70 degrees to rinse the residue. Rinse it 1 to 3 times to fully wash out the sugar. Due to various reasons such as the starch content of the raw materials and the catalytic effect of amylase, the final sugar content will be biased. The Wort sugar content can be increased to the ideal range of 10% to 20% by heating and concentrating. The Wort sugar content after concentration reaches 14.4%. Afterwards, we only need to wait for the wort to cool down to the appropriate 30 degrees before proceeding to the next step, adding yeast. The yeast used in this fermentation is HooLoo's imported super yeast, which is a distilled wine yeast. The yeast contains yeast nutritional additives to ensure the rapid increase of yeast activity. We add an appropriate amount of super yeast according to the sugar content of the wort. Before adding, add 30-degree warm water to wake up the yeast and add it according to the above ratio. After stirring evenly, seal and ferment. During the fermentation period, the temperature is controlled at a suitable range of 18 to 25 degrees. The fermentation time is 2 to 5 days. The length of the fermentation time will result in slightly different flavors. The fermentation is basically completed after about 5 days and can be poured into a distillation pot for distillation. The fermented glutinous rice wine smells like craft beer, with a slight sour taste. HooLoo column distillation equipment used in distillation. After adding the fermentation liquid, assemble the equipment. Install the red and blue water inlet and outlet pipes used for condensation of the equipment, and connect them to the upper and lower ends of the defragmenter and the condenser pipe respectively. Plug in the power, turn on the heating knob and boil the fermented material in the pot over high heat. After being heated to a certain temperature, methanol and ethanol begin to evaporate in gaseous form. The steam and copper repeatedly contact and catalyze, filtering out most of the sulfates and fusel alcohols. The proportion of spirits head pinch off is about 2%. After pinching off the one head, you can officially collect the spirits car. It is recommended to control the one car degree between 60 and 70 degrees to facilitate subsequent aging in barrels. During the aging process, the spirits will also change with the different ambient temperature and humidity. However, due to exclusion and interaction, especially the failure to keep up with the interaction process, the flavor of the wine appears to be less harmonious, and the flavor of the oak chips masks the original aroma and flavor of the wine. It can be seen that the tricky method of soaking oak chips, although it can quickly darken the color, cannot produce an excellent whiskey. Well, this is the end of the introduction of the homemade whiskey. I hope you can try to make some of your favorite spirits.